everybody, and welcome back finally to Temptations. I did we do this after Halloween, or have we been off for like that long? I can't even remember.
We done one session.
One session, so we've been off for
Yeah,
a
we did one
while.
between.
Okay, well, welcome back. Psychic is going to give us a very extensive recap, hopefully, because I don't think any of us remember what we're doing here anymore.
Yes. But we did have one session in between the Werewolfkins month of horror. And
Great
coincidentally the
time.
one session that we did have had next to no lore significance because it was just us fighting Torval,
Oh yeah, that's right.
who we remember to be the kind of overarching like acting like a big bad, but every time
Right.
it was announced earlier, every time he is defeated, he gets weaker.
Yeah, he's
So
like
every time we fight
Horcrux
him,
dude
it's
or whatever. That I
yeah,
remember.
basically. But yeah, so we are currently after the last session stuck in the middle, essentially in the middle of a forest fire in the southern areas of Teague. Teague being the kind of midway merchant gate between the eastern and western continents. Down here, you guys heeded the call for help. And Anabatalos, who is the current mayor of Teague, has said like there are some big things coming, like the mages to the south have asked for help. Um, Val, I believe you rolled high enough to know that these were kind of like your people, in a sense. The major circles are kind of spread all over the place, and the mages are also responsible for the teleportation circles, which I believe was introduced with Charles, as another thing later as well. Charles basically like our guiding god, so to speak. At this present time, we came and arrived to see that the place had already been destroyed, and the help was actually a trap for Anna, as the kind of knight that was standing there and had his men were quickly dispatched. Mind you, they were not very strong. They were quickly dispatched by the party, and the knights revealed themselves to be Torval, who had wanted to kill Anna for their own gain, but then was like, "Well, I've got you guys here, and you guys have already fucked me off, so like, fuck these guys in particular." And then you wiped the floor with him,
Yeah,
which
we
was
did.
great. So,
I do
coming
remember
into it
that. I do remember being awesome.
Yeah, you're
now. So, coming into it now, the overarching story as an update of what is happening. The long story short of it is the gods themselves have been coming down more often as of recent events, have been trying to rewrite and reshape history due to what had happened about 500 years ago or 100 years ago. I can't remember which lore I've got for this specific one,
Hmm.
with Hormona, the Blood Queen, after the Blood War had kind of ravaged the continent. During that
She's just
time, the gods have
misunderstood,
kind of
though.
said,
She's just misunderstood.
yes, sure. The gods in between that time and now, to the current day, have kind of been trying to sweep across the continent, make sure they fix things, try and be a bit more proactive in things. And I just remembered that it is the 50 years that it had happened because we started in Zapron, which was a city that had recently started picking themselves up again after the remnants of the war. Leading us to this point now, we are currently standing, crying, trauma dumping in the middle of the forest. Forest, as we can hear in the background, is currently ablaze with fire after the circle was set ablaze by Torval, acting as a knight for the people of insert the name of big city people here, because I can't remember if I gave that one a name in this campaign. But essentially, they were acting on kind of the big, like, evil quotation marks monarchy of the Western continent, and essentially trying to completely erase the identity and the people that are of the magical variety. Val, having experienced this before, having traveled around quite a lot, is currently going through it. And also, Arendelle, you're kind of starting to feel a bit funny, a bit weird, because you were someone that had praised and worked with the churches, had worked with the people, and kind of those that had been in charge for so long that this is kind of almost half directly, completely countering everything that you've learned and worked with. So there's a little bit of an inside turmoil there for Arendelle. Rose, you are still stuck trying to figure out what the fuck is going on while you're still like 500 years awake or 100 years awake. And Homona is a bad guy. That sounds a bit sus. And Coral
how
is
about
just a silly little guy. He's just a chill little guy. They got his
Without a
hand cut off
hand.
without a hand, but the hand was reinstated by another god, not his own. That basically said, like, look, I can still kind of heed your call. This is going to help. And that leads us to right now. As a very quick rundown, feel free to watch the other episodes. We're only like 10 or 11 in at this stage.
Yeah, it's not too far
Quick
in.
and easy to catch up.
It's been really interesting so far. It really
And
has been.
entertaining, guys.
Yeah, content warning. This bitch is dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Much
Fun, though.
like a Zelda game, this is the dark one.
we have three
The
D&D
wolf.
campaigns. We've got our high fantasy, Final Fantasy, boop boop boop. We've got Golden Vault, which is our more comical relief one, kind of laid back, and this one's like, hey, dark fantasy all the way.
Hey, do you like Game of Thrones? I'm gonna make that look like my bitch.
Yeah, one of those.
But yeah. So right now we are currently standing, looking around. There are bodies of all various ages and sizes littered around the ground. No one was spared in this attack on the people. Val, you can either make me a history check to see if you recognize this specific area because you were a nomad in your kind of group, so to speak. That is the one that I am missing. Because I knew I was like, I'm missing a page. I do not know which page it is, but I am missing one. D&D Beyond, you know, the place where we like have everything and roll and stuff.
That's the one thing you don't
Yeah,
have open.
Maybe that might. 16, brilliant. Okay, view campaign. So with a 16 on history, you don't recognize specifically this exact camp or the people in it, but you know from traveling around as well, not just along the western continent, but also traveling along the eastern continent as well, that most of the circles are kind of samey to the sense of familiarity. So while the western continent where we are now, a lot of their circles are going to have very similar spots. They're going to be in similar situations. The people are going to have the same kind of hierarchy, stuff like that. So while you may not yourself know who these people are, you are familiar enough with this side of the world to know how they would have lived, how they would have acted. You have like that kind of sense of familiarity. But these are still your people. And as far as you're concerned, this was the last circle that you knew of and then was immediately destroyed from the fires. We don't know if there's anybody else on the western side right now.
Yeah.
Rose obviously wanting to comfort them. Coral and Arundel, I'm going to start with you two first. With the fires going on, and of course you two being the kind of like the religious motifs with your characters and how you see things as well, with the experiences that you've gone through with One and Jekka for you, Arundel, or with Coral with your own god, which slowly has started to grow into multiple that are on your side. How are you two feeling seeing this kind of happen? Because this is a first for both of you.
For this trip, Arendelle had never really even left home, so this kind of violence isn't even something she knew existed. Like, I guess she knew existed because she read books, but never really put it together. Like, didn't really understand it. This is the first time she'd ever quite saw it, so it's
Yeah, Coral's
it's
kind of the
very
opposite. 'Cause, yeah, he's seen a lot. He's seen a lot in his years. And this is this is bad. The fire is definitely that adds a dimension to it. But like, at least the dead aren't coming back to life in front of him. That's a plus. So this is not the worst thing he's ever seen in his life.
Yes, they are not coming back to life.
At least they
Not
aren't
yet.
zombies. Is always a fallback silver lining.
True. If they did, I would start playing the Half-Life 2 head crab people in the town. Anyway, so with you two kind of having a look around, there's this sense of dread that someone is so easily able to just do something like this. And that's a kind of shock value for you, Arundel, in as you said, you've only read books on stuff like this. Like, this is the first time you've witnessed something as devastating and as on such a grand scale. And Coral, even though you've had experience like this, you've not actually seen someone be so blasé about wiping someone off the face of the planet for essentially no real reason, but someone said to, so do it. Rose and Val, you two have a very intricate kind of knowledge on this kind of stuff. As Rose, back in the past, you had watched war-torn countries. You had seen the battles that had been fought and played, whether that was for your side or not. And especially with your experience with Hormona back then, it's almost kind of like history repeating itself for you. Except this time, you don't know what side people are on. Like, you knew how the good of Hormona, you knew what she was capable of, but it's almost like these people are trying to do it in the name of them or in the name of someone else. That's kind of really fucking with our mind right now, because she wasn't a bad person. So what happened since you were gone? But then that leads us to Val. With such a heavy knowledge of your people, of your group, of the artificers, the tinkerers, the mages that have been escaping and wanting to run for so long, it's almost like there's this sense of finality in this one attack. Because it wasn't just a random attack. This was targeted. And it has been targeted for a long time. Val, with everything kind of happening around you with the fires, what is going through Val's mind right now?
Val is currently in what might be considered like a computer system overload in her head. She's absolutely seen this before. I mean, she's the only one left of her tribe for a reason. And I think she doesn't know what to think or what to do, so I think she just starts making something. Like her brain is like, I need to do something that I can control. So I think she's like, it almost looks like she doesn't seem like she cares, but she's also, you can very much tell that she's like sort of having a panic attack, and she's just like fumbling with her tools, and she's like, I guess, pulled out a cube, and maybe one of those like springs pops out, and she's just sort of like trying to make something with her hands.
Do me a sleight of hand with disadvantage.
I love this.
While she's doing that, Rose will just go over and put her hand on her shoulder and just kind of give it just a very gentle squeeze, just to let her know that I'm there, but I won't say anything.
12 with a disadvantage ain't bad.
Yeah, 12 disadvantage is still pretty good. With Rose kind of placing her hand on your shoulder, it does calm you enough to be able to create something, and your mind went to what you knew, and you created another one of your light boxes, essentially. Feel free, RP it.
Perhaps we might need to take a closer look, see if we can't find any clues as to who the identities of these people. We might need to
Val, you can take a minute. Do you want me to go look for you? You don't have to go over there.
Yes, perhaps that would be logical at this point. I should I'm gonna go make something, and I just hand you the lantern. Like, it's an ever bright lantern, so it gives you light. So there's a fire, but sometimes it creates shadows. You got something to look at. That might help you with your investigation.
Thank you. This will be helpful. Thank you. Just stay here. I'll go see what I can find out, and I'll let you know. Okay?
Yes, and I think Val's gonna just like plop onto the ground, like sit down, and she's gonna take out her screwdriver and just sort of like finagle with her like bracers. Well, I was 0.2 millimeters off so I need to adjust that. She's just completely out of it.
Coral and Arundel, due to the fire and the intensity of it, you two can't hear the conversation that the other's happening. What are you two wanting to do? What are you two thinking? What's going through your minds?
So is the So I want to take an assessment of the fire. Like, is this gonna like spiral really out of control, or is this basically do we have to take measures to keep the fire under control and not like cause a huge, holocaust of fire going on here?
Go off, Smokey the
Interesting
Bear.
choice. Roll me either a nature or survival, whichever one
Only
you think
we
is
can
better.
prevent this forest fire, people.
Arendelle, Arendelle, what are you thinking? What are you doing?
Um, I'm thinking that Arendelle's first instinct after the fight is to go look for any survivors.
Okay, you can make me a perception check, please. With an 18, Coral, it's interesting because this fire has been going for a few minutes and it is raging between, like, past the tree
Yeah.
line that you guys can see. The upside to that is that you can tell that it's still a little bit away from where you guys are specifically. Like, even though on the map for the Roll20, there's like a couple of fires that's just to symbolize that there's a fire going on. You can see that the fire is kind of going. With an 18, do you think there's still enough time to be able to, if not contain it, because this is not going to be something you will be able to contain, but it gives you guys enough time to be able to, as Arendelle's doing, looking for survivors, looking for like people, looking for something. Arendelle, with a
Okay.
26, there are no survivors in this kind of fire. This was targeted. This was 100% an attack on them as a people. With a 26, you can tell through your own kind of book smarts knowledge of how fires work, you can tell that this was deliberately lit in certain areas to catch fire at certain points. So it's almost like this was well planned and ahead of time. With a 26, what you do find is you do find a lot of the bodies of the knights that were trying to help Torval and had started the fire. A lot of their weaponry, a lot of their armor isn't representative of who they were trying to fight in place of. In the sense of, even though they were there and they were like, we're a knight from this city, or we are in like this monarchy or whatever, like none of them are wearing the same armor. They're all wearing different colors. They're all wearing different sigils. They're all wearing different, they're all wearing different markings essentially. You recognize two of them as coming from Ura, which was the city that you were in and lived in. You also notice that there's a couple that are from the colors of Zapron as well, which is throwing somebody else for a loop. But the one that kind of triggers your mind, and with the 26, is that you notice one that has the same colors that Anna wears on her armor, on her weaponry. So, there was one person that kind of came from Teague, which is where you guys just came from as well. Rose, you are looking for evidence. You are looking for something, correct?
I am, but before I do that, how much area does this fire cover exactly? Like it's a rather large area, right?
Make me an Arcana check, because you're feeling differently. You're looking through the mind of a druid. Like, this
21.
is the forest is your home, essentially. Like, you've always felt at home in the forest. The forest has always helped you, and
Grew
you
up in the
felt this
Feywild.
kind of weird. Exactly. So you've always felt this kind of weird, essentially, connection to nature that others might miss. And Rose, during the fight, and Coral noticed that the fire was a little bit further away. But what you noticed that Coral didn't is that the fire itself hasn't moved since you guys got here. It hasn't caught anything else on fire. It hasn't done anything else. It's just stagnant, in a sense, which both proves the point of this being an attack, but also proves the point of these people have used magic to contain the fire in this area. So even if you guys left, this fire is just going to burn down this part of the forest.
Okay. Even so, she's gonna get a little bit closer to the flames to where she can actually feel the heat on her skin and just kind of let that wash over her a little bit.
Is
She'll
she?
close her.
I'm
She'll
gonna
close.
get up right next to you. Or Rose, be careful.
I've got this. Thank you. She closes her eyes for just a second, and she kind of just lets that wash over her, and then she starts muttering under her breath. And when she opens her eyes, there's this like thin blue kind of glassiness over them as the sky kind of starts to darken, and out beyond the fire, you can see just this huge tidal wave start rising up out of nowhere. I will use a third level spell slot. I'm going to cast Tidal Wave. It is 30 feet long, 10 feet wide, 10 feet tall, giant wave that I just want to crash onto the most populated part of this fire.
The heat
Okay.
doesn't bother me anyway.
So answer me then, you're talking about the most populated part of the fire. Is that where the fire is raging the most, or where
Yes.
the people
Yeah.
you're seeing the bodies the most?
They're gone. I want to just put out as many of the flames as I can with this because it's my last third level slot.
Okay.
So
You, Coral, you said that you're right next to Rose, and Arundel, you're also close enough to be able to see something. I want the three of you to make me a perception check, please.
okay.
Val, you're just still in breakdown mode. You're in.
Yep. Yeah,
Like-
no, I'm out.
Cool.
I'm good at
12.
perception, and that sucked.
There you go.
So with that, Rose, you're too busy focused on casting the spell. This is a high level spell for you. This isn't something that you're used to, so it's taking a lot of your concentration. Coral and Arundel, you two notice something quite funny in the sense of you don't feel the heat from the fire. You don't feel a warmth from the fire. And as Rose is kind of pulling over this massive tidal wave that's coming in to like take out as much of it as it can, you notice that it doesn't act the same way. You aren't seeing the steam coming off from a fire that's being put out by water. You're not hearing that hissing sound of a fire. It's just kind of evaporating. I suppose that's not the right word, but that's the word I'm using at the moment because fuck it. But like you're seeing this fire kind of just dissipate as if it was just kind of like something just gelled over it, rather than it being a fire
Like,
in its sense.
is it like almost like it's illusionary, or it's just like
It's very real. You've seen the bodies,
Okay.
you've seen the marks, you've seen the burning. When you were fighting Torval, you felt the heat, you heard the sounds, and you felt everything. But it's
To be
almost
fair,
like...
you also put us in a weird time loop where we felt all that stuff too, and it didn't happen. So
I loved you coming in and the pointing.
Oh,
Wow.
and it is funny that you mentioned that because Coral and Eridel with the 20 and the 22, it's almost like things kind of went a bit downhill because once Torval left, it didn't start playing the same rules as Fire usually comes. It started to be a bit... It stopped moving. It stopped feeling the heat. You can see
stop
and
acting like fire.
it stopped acting like fire.
That's weird. All right. I'm gonna activate Divine Sense. Does that trigger anything?
Remind me what that one does again. I haven't played a cleric yet. Or paladin, sorry.
Yeah. So that it detects the presence of any extraplanar like celestials, fiends, undead. Where is it?
Excuse me.
Yeah, you can affect anything affected, any celestial,
hallowed
fiend, or
spell.
undead, or anything affected by the hollow spell, or yeah. So probably not gonna find anything on this.
You do actually. Oh,
I did?
Arundel,
Okay.
go.
No, go ahead.
Okay. With your Divine Sense spell, you recognize that obviously after seeing it not act like fire, only ever happening after Torval left as well, the fire itself starts to glow with kind of like this almost yellowy golden kind of light, which you yourself has recognized as places that you have seen whilst on the god's plane when they were talking to you,
Oh.
informing you what had happened after Torval had kind of removed you from the church that had happened earlier, which the other three were still in when Charles blew it the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
But you recognize that golden yellowy color is a kind of almost a godsend now, a godsend, kind of like the calling card of the gods themselves whenever they're interfering with something that they shouldn't. and it's only something that either you or Arendelle would be able to see, as it is something that is innately a kind of god-like fashion, and you two being the closest to / working with the gods directly and having that combination of power and communication, only you two would have been able to notice this.
This fire, this isn't a natural fire.
Did the
Some
water?
by
I know you said it didn't interact like fire, but did the fire go away in that area, or is it still there after the tidal wave
Yeah, it's
crashes?
like it's just gone. Like
Okay.
nothing was on fire. Arendelle, what were you
Yeah. Sorry.
wanting to say before?
I was gonna ask. Well, I was gonna kind of just put this out to the group.
Mhm.
I can speak with the dead. We could try to talk to one of the bodies here. As morbid as that is.
I think that might be a great idea, but I don't think we need to do that when Val is nearby. I think that might
If
be
it
too
makes it,
traumatic.
Sure, why
it makes
not?
you feel any better, Val isn't really there.
They might be able to give us some information about exactly what happened here, but again, I don't think Val needs to see that.
Um,
And I'm sorry,
what do we
Cora.
tell Val?
What do you? Val, I think, is distracted anyway. Hey, Cora, what did you mean? This isn't natural fire. Now that he's pointed that out, would I notice that as a druid?
You will notice that the tidal wave didn't affect it like fire should. But the thing is that you still notice it as wood burning, as the smell of smoke, as all of these other things. You haven't clicked in that this isn't real fire
Oh,
yet.
so do I still feel the heat? So they just don't because they're like aware of its Oh, okay. I
yeah,
don't
this
understand.
fire is of some sort of divine origin. This isn't real. This isn't terrestrial fire. There's something. This isn't fueled by the wood and the air, and this is not.
Whatever it is, it still causes
There's
the same.
divine footprints all over this.
It still causes the same destruction to the land.
But look how your water it washes it away like sand, not douses it like fire.
I
It
see
also
that
hasn't
now.
moved. Arendelle, what would you like to do? Because you are your own character. Val is having a mental breakdown off to the side. What would you like to do?
Um, I don't know. I'm still just kind of like
Speak with the dead, you coward.
I'm asking the group honestly. I don't know what to
That's
do.
my vote. Speak with
I
the
can
dead.
I can do
Speak with the dead.
I can
You're
also
gonna
try
be.
dispel magic.
I'm far enough
Um,
away from the dead bodies that you and not paying enough attention that you could probably go over, and then come get me, pick me up from the ground when you're done.
You know where I'll be, guys.
We'll be in the corner having a mental breakdown. You just go play your
Yeah,
little fun party games.
Don't mind
So
me, just a mentee bee.
we're able to ask 5 questions. What do we want to ask?
Let me look
Well,
up this spell so I know I'm answering correctly.
I think we need to. We could. I mean, I think we kind of know what happened here, but I think it might not hurt to get a first-hand account of what exactly happened if anything was said. I don't really know how you might phrase that, but
Yeah. How more than what?
that's a great question. Yeah, how
The
did this
more I
happen?
think about it, the less likely it is that these people are going to know more than we already do.
They could know if it was a trap or
Well,
not.
my note.
They
I'll
were
find out.
here.
Oh, that's right. You could also talk to Torval. Torval's corpse.
Oh yeah.
No, 12
Yeah, it like
vanished into that
disappears,
black
right?
Oh, that's
pool
right.
of kind of like ichor.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Very attractive.
Look,
So on brand right now.
I'm not. This is really far out of my wheelhouse. I I definitely have never dealt with anything beyond the grave like this, so I'll trust your judgment. But I mean, it does seem like there might be some information we could get from an eyewitness account.
My lane is living things.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the whole natural order, right? Things die. That's kind of the end for me as a druid, right? I'm over here.
Well, Arendelle tells you guys, well,
There's
I've
a
only
whole
ever done this
afterlife. You haven't.
once. I've only ever done this once, and it was really only to revive one of the fathers that had died, and no one could find the key to the pantry. So that was really all I've ever done this for before. So
Dude,
Did you
That's so good, though.
I love it.
That's
Well-
amazing.
did you
No.
find it? Did he know where it was?
no, he didn't know where it was. We ended up having to break the door down.
Oh, lame.
Well, that does make me doubt they would have much information that's useful now, but it still might be worth a shot. Great.
All right. I cast Speak with the Dead on. I picked the one that has the same armor as Anna.
Okay.
What town was that she was from again?
Teague. THEEG. I totally didn't spend a few hours last night remembering my own fucking campaign.
Yeah, that was me coming back to Kupo Quest after our big break. I'm like, I gotta watch like some of this stuff just to make sure I'm not double talking myself.
Alright, so the duration is 10 minutes, and until the spell ends, you can ask up to 5 questions. Only knows what it knew in life, including languages it knew. Don't worry, you won't have to worry about that. They all speak common. They had to, they were on the run, they needed help, yada yada. It says that answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and then under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer, but like, you
Yeah, I think
guys aren't the enemy so far.
I think that's just to keep us from like raising people we kill and being like, tell us all your secrets. Just before
Yeah.
he gets started, I just want to say Rose will kind of keep her attention half focused back on Val just to make sure that she's keeping her distance. And I will interfere if I have to.
You can
have
speak on
Druidcraft?
one of the gods, not
Hell
one
yeah, I
of the
got
people.
Druidcraft. What kind of druid doesn't have Druidcraft?
They make the grass grow up and down really fast in front of her over and over, and so she's just like, "What the hell's happening?"
Just distract her.
What is this?
Or can I
Damn
do
it, I
like
fucked up.
I can do bad. I'll just keep giving her bad sense. So she's like, "What? What is this?" Like trying to find where there's like a skunk nearby.
Alright,
Um,
what would you like
okay,
to
so-
ask the god?
The first
One of the
thing
knights.
Arendelle does is, firstly, very, 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 very sorry for this. But this is very, very important. Firstly, do you know what happened here? Bad first question.
You're doing great, sweetie.
You guys gonna help me out here?
Orders. Evil. Erase. Goddess. Kill. Erase.
What's your first answer?
Can you like just say that
Orders.
without the voice though for me, please?
Orders, kill, erase.
Okay.
I was getting ready to say, I didn't quite catch that, Arendelle. Did you hear? Didn't understand.
We'll assume that is the voice you get. I will just tell you the answers.
Perfect.
I have fun making voices in this Discord server.
It's fun. I like it.
I'm also asthmatic and shouldn't be doing that.
Like, it was a great voice. I actually thought you were doing it because we weren't supposed to understand him or her.
Eh,
It's a great voice.
I was gonna say this was a
I was
third
just
level
having
spell
fun.
slot. I better get something out of this. All right. So orders.
kill, erase.
Yeah. Okay. Were you sent here to kill these people?
Hate to be a dick, but for that specific wording, you're going to get the same 3 words again. of orders, kill, erase.
I think maybe.
Probably shouldn't have said sent here.
I feel bad.
Who's saying?
We got 3 more questions. What should I ask next?
3 more questions. I'd probably say it's been quick to answer you, so you still got like 8 minutes. You're not in any immediate danger from the fire pit.
Do we know
Oh, that's a good
who?
question. Do you know how to put this fire out?
Hmm.
In the voice, because I said I'm not going to do that again. You get the words time. Time takes time.
So it'll dissipate on its own after a while. I mean, how much destruction though before that's gone? Before everything here's gone.
Aradel and Coral, you two know that the fire itself isn't moving. It's not acting like real fire. So
It's destroying where it is though, right? So even if it's domed up, won't it eventually destroy?
it was while Torval was alive.
Oh, did it stop?
Destroy the exact locations that it currently is. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
it's not
I
spreading.
can-
It's just gonna use up the fuel that's there.
With the roles that you guys have had, I can confidently tell you that if Torval was still alive or still here, the fire would have spread. But because Torval's not here, and essentially the magical fire of godly, divine, whatever, everyone knows once the spellcaster leaves, the spell doesn't last long.
Yeah.
Alright, 3 more questions. What do we want to know? Because we're asking the gods, not the people.
2 more questions.
2? What was the 3rd one?
Whose side are you on, Arendelle? You gave us the same answer twice, remember? Because he asked that one question.
Oh, yeah, right, sorry, yeah.
Since we're being
I
honest.
don't know what do you guys think I should ask the other 2? I'm not sure what else to ask.
Do we know?
Is it only the person that casts a spell that can talk to them?
I think they have to ask the question. Like, we can discuss it, but I think they have to direct the question. I think.
Okay. Gotcha.
So you ask what they were sent here to do, but do we know actually who sent them?
Or where they came from.
Who sent you?
I'm logging into my Google Drive in preparation for this question.
Or even why? Why were these people targeted? We don't know that either, do we?
Well, that'll be our next 2 questions then. Who sent you?
It's the Eastern Continent.
Who sent you here?
Actually, not who sent you, because I'm not falling for that again.
Oh.
Who gave you your orders?
So you're going to get the same kind of scratched voice.
And somebody
And
give him
you are
like a
going to
lozenge or something?
Yeah.
Just chuck him the straps, it'll be fine. You're going to get the words king. You're going to get the words Ulfrim. And you're going to get the words manipulation. Also, manipulation is one word, not words, plural. So you're going to get king, Ulfrim, and manipulation.
Okay.
So does that mean King Alfred manipulated someone, or did he get manipulated? All right.
Oh no. My first interpretation was that he was manipulated. But that's very vague.
Would have gone either direction.
Is this
Arendelle,
spell
like, the
always so
dead-
vague, Arendelle?
Yeah, that was what I was just about to say. They're always like this, but that's why we couldn't find the key. He was always talking about he was like being all like waxing poetic about like something about like underneath his 4th floorboard or something. We broke his whole house apart, could not find anything. I'm pretty sure it was about like his sled or something. I don't know. But yeah, they're always like this. Sometimes you can get something useful from them.
Red
Love this. So you've got one more
What was
question.
the last question though?
Yeah, Rosebud.
You went Shining.
I went the wrong way. I'm
Right,
not paying
right.
attention. Listen, he was murdered.
Fair.
What,
So we,
what was the
so
other
we got
question?
who
you were
sent
gonna
them
ask?
with manipulation in there somehow, but we didn't
Yeah.
get the why or where they came from.
Yes.
So I guess we
Why?
got the why. We got the orders
They
kill a
orders
race.
kill. But we don't know
Yeah.
why they were targeting this group. That's something we still don't know.
Yeah.
Erase.
Or
They were trying to
who
get
was
rid of
in
all
this
of
group that they were specifically targeting.
Yeah, why did this group need to be erased?
I
Or
will
who
give this,
within
I'll
this
give
group.
this information to you for free because your characters would know that the major circles have been targeted for the last couple of years to erase them as they are seen as unnatural. I'll give you that info for free because at least Coral, Arundel, and Val would have known that naturally.
It's
So
a
I'll give you that.
genocide.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
basically.
in that case, should our last question be: has the king been manipulated, or is the king doing the manipulation? Or do you think he's just going to say the same shit?
He might just say the same shit.
I think he would say the same shit.
We
Well,
get to
we
watch him
word it
die right
correctly.
afterwards. That's cool, at least.
To watch him die.
Wait, isn't this a good guy though?
No,
Doesn't matter.
this
It's
is
Well,
one
he's
still
of
been
cool.
the
useless
Oh, right.
information, though.
Right, because we took
Yeah.
we didn't ask one of the victims.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. He'd probably
Remember,
just say the same thing.
remember to word things. Depending on how things are
We-
worded, you may get a different response.
We could just ask
I don't
who
know.
Torvald's boss was.
Who does Torval answer to?
You might not
Might
know.
Who does
Yeah.
number 2 work for?
They might not know.
While they're coming up with their last question,
Yeah.
Val, it's been about 15-20 minutes while they've been investigating and then getting ready for the final question. After the 15-20 minutes, something kind of clicks in your mind. While you're working on something, you almost have a little bit of a breakthrough in a sense that a lot of the fires, a lot of the attacks, a lot of the kind of targeted moments by the people trying to erase your group, trying to erase your kind from the Western continent, you have this moment of recollection is that you only ever heard of them being taken out on the Western continent. You've never actually thought of or heard of them being erased on the Eastern side of the world, or what you guys think is the world. A lot of that is going to come down from the fact that you've spent a lot more time over here, but you know that your people communicate, and you know that your people talk. So it hasn't taken much longer than it's taken longer than you would have liked to have clicked into this information, but it comes down to the point of, are we really being targeted for who we are, or is it just a specific attack from one group?
I was working on something very specific while I was sitting there.
Okay.
So, I'm going to call over. I'm going to go Rose.
As soon as I hear my
Rose.
name, Arundel's like, "What should we?" And Rose is gone. Rose just
Goodbye.
leaves in the middle of that conversation and goes straight to Val. What? Are you okay?
We're magic is only being attacked on the west side. It's not logical. Why only this side? I have been I noticed you your talents. I suppose we are not in the company of people who may not like this, but I have noticed that you are a magic user, and I did see you earlier getting a little tired here, so I made this, and she hands you this, like, of course, kind of crudely, like, hammered little ring. Um, it has like a symbol of like a little like rose um on it, and it is a spell refueling ring, While you're wearing
Ooh.
this ring, you can recover one expended spell slot of level 3 or lower, and it replenishes every dawn. It does. You don't have to wait for a long rest. You just have to wait for dawn for it to replenish.
Okay. Oh,
So
this is beautiful. Thank you. She just kind of holds
yes,
it
it
like against her heart.
yes,
Truly.
yeah, it seemed logical to give you a little bit more energy. It seems like we may be fighting more of this.
Yeah, I think you might be right. This is a really thoughtful gift. I really appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
I Are you okay?
I I don't understand. I heard I heard them saying that it was divine. That's not logical. I thought they were. I thought I thought the gods were on our side. Why would they want to destroy?
I don't know. I'm pretty lost here too. I don't really understand. Apparently the fire's not real fire. I don't really understand. I don't really understand anything anymore.
I believe we need more answers. I think we may need to get find somewhere there's more answers.
We will. But I think we should take a little time. I think we'll need to rest and maybe talk if only if you want to.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm a bit tired. It's only logical to le- recharge my thoughts. Yes. Yes.
Alrighty.
That sounds good.
Coming over, we have Arundel and Coral. Have you got your final question? Or have you got the wording for it, I should say?
So, Arendelle, I think we really need to find out like who Torvald was reporting to, or who sent Torvald here. I think that's and or at least where they came from, so we know where to go next.
Okay. Yep. How should we word that so we can try to get a useful answer?
Uh,
The corpse is like, I don't know, and then just dies.
Beats me.
Have you all seen the D&D movie? I sent a GIF in the.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's one of
No.
my
Such a good
favorite
movie.
parts of that movie is
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
go through like 6 corpses.
That movie's so good.
Did that count as a question?
What's
Yes.
your
Damn
favorite
it.
part of the D&D movie? Let us know in the comments.
Oh. Yeah, I bought you a couple more seconds.
Yeah.
All right.
A name will be. I can't come up with a way to ask for both name and location, so name would probably be better. But like, just who sent you and Torvald and your crew here for this purpose.
didn't we already kind of ask that? Wasn't that when we got the king being manipulated answer?
Well, that's
Or
who
am
sent
I?
them here. Could be the same answer,
Well,
but that might still be
yeah. So,
information.
Okay.
like,
Okay.
do we know?
Okay. Then in that case, Arendelle asks, um, Arendelle asks, who is the mastermind behind this whole thing?
Ooh, that's well worded. That is well worded. You are going to get a brief pause from the corpse.
And his head explodes.
You are going to get the words Torval. He's going to repeat Torval a couple of times. He's going to say the word underling. And
Torval's an underling.
the third word he says is Homona.
Dun dun
Mm.
dun.
Oh, and I'm gone. Okay.
Yep.
I just kind of like, lean over. I'm like, we don't tell Rose that last part.
You look at Coral like.
Don't tell Rose.
Boy, that was lucky she ran off,
We'll
huh?
fight for a little bit on that one.
Ooh.
I rolled a dice. It was going to be one of two names, and I was like, we'll do this one.
Okay.
After you get the last word of the final question, you watch the kind of corpse just almost die a second time as it basically just kind of you get a scream in your head, Arendelle, of the death happening the same way it did before, but a second time.
Oh. See? Dark. That's what we're
Excellent.
talking about.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Alright. We've had some information with the corpses. We now understand that. Well, we've got a lot of information, which Ravdok has written down in his book of. Let me correct you, DM. I got this. But with a lot of the information now that you guys have gotten from this corpse, there are a few things. Ilfram's king and manipulation, whether that means that the king has been manipulated or if the king is manipulating someone else. You've also heard that Torval is an underling to Homona, which means that Torval is kind of answering to someone, and that this was an order made to erase this camp. Another thing, obviously, as well, is you two specifically know that the fire is going to go out eventually on its own. It wasn't divine nature. Now that the divine god is not here, neither will the fire soon. But there's a lot of big and confusing information as well, because this seems a bit overkill, pun fully intended, to the situation that we're in where we are. Like, if they were just targeting one person, the main thought that's going through you two is why on such a grand spectacle? Why this big? This was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
So, after that, the four of you can meet up and come together. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick ourselves up and we are going to start making the 3-hour trip back to Teague, because there is nothing left for us here. But on the trip, feel free to RP. What do you tell the other two? Because you two now have a bit more answers, but what do you tell them?
What was the last question that you asked?
What's your favorite color?
Arendale's not very good at like coming up with lies and like stuff like that on the spot, so he just looks kind of panicked. And then that's all you're getting out of her.
Did I ask something? She'll look at Coral. Did I say something wrong?
I don't think so. No, he just asked like who the mastermind behind this all was.
What did they say?
So right out with it. Well, Torvald is like the underling. I didn't catch the name. Was it Herman or something like that? What was the name?
Herman.
Arendelle is like 500 feet in front of you, just walking really fast.
Okay. I don't think we've encountered a Herman before. Well, at least we have a name now. I suppose that's
Herman.
something. Although I don't know how I feel about Orville being the underling of anybody. He's scary enough as it is.
Well, I mean, someone sent him, and so they also sent something about King Alfred manipulation, but I don't
I caught
really
that
get
part.
much clarity on the context on this.
Well. Okay. Well, at least we have something. Probably not as much as we hoped for, but it's something. Herman. We'll have to ask around for a Herman.
Something like that.
Okay. And then she'll just keep walking.
Yeah.
I don't think her mind would
Are
let
you
her
sure that's
make that
it? Yeah.
jump. Like, I just don't think her mind would even consider the fact that it could be Hermona, so she wouldn't even connect the two.
Right. With the four of you walking along, probably been walking only for about half an hour before you feel yourselves shift, as if walking through something. And 5 minutes after walking, you're seeing Teague come up over the hill as you're walking along.
I'm sorry, did I black out again? I can't remember if I ate more of those mushrooms that we found, because I swear this was supposed to be further away.
Yes, it
Right?
was a few hours, yes.
Have we been walking for hours?
Does it look
No.
like we've been walking for 3 hours, or does it look like we've only been walking for an hour and we just got there faster?
It, according to you guys, for what you feel to be like the passage of time, it's only been like a half hour that you started walking, and now you're at Teague. The four of you know that it definitely didn't take this short amount of time to get to where you were going.
And the sun is like in the place where we would see if it was like a half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sun
We're
hasn't
not
moved.
losing time.
It's like 5 o'clock. You left at 4:30.
Okay.
Not specifically that time, but
I'm gonna go ahead with Arendelle. Like out of since he's what do you say? They were like 500 feet ahead of everyone else. I'm gonna jog up and yeah. Hey, were there a reason we're keeping the last one secret? There's something I need to know about this Ramona person?
Oh.
I mean, I think I've heard that name
before. They were good friends.
They were roommates.
They were roommates.
Wink.
You know what I mean? Arendelle
Val and
doesn't
Rose, right?
understand sex or love or relationships at all, so she's just like, they were roommates and they were really good friends. She's 100% serious when she's saying this. This isn't her just doing a euphemism.
Well, don't you think she should know? Is this a? I mean, it's not did the corpse lie here? What?
I don't know. I just think it's I just don't think she's ready for that conversation yet.
Coral, if you want
after all.
to roll an insight for me.
I am
Depending on the
absolutely
roll,
inciting this.
let's see if you pick up what Arendelle's putting down.
Ooh, there we go.
Okay. So you, along with Arendelle, have obviously been in the monasteries and the churches. You've worked with the kind of the religious sector, and you know that, they don't really like to talk directly about a lot of this stuff. So, but because you have the road you've been traveling as like a missionary, as a mercenary for so long, you're like a little confused at first, but then because Arendelle is so serious about it, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. We're on the same page. Coral has
Right.
realization that they were doing the horizontal monster mash, like.
Well, yeah, that part I get, but the part it's gonna have to come out at sooner or later.
I've never heard that.
What?
Oh.
What's your plan here, Arendelle?
I don't have one. I just don't want to have that conversation with her right now. She seems quite fragile.
Valid.
Me to break it to her? I'll have that combo.
I'm sorry. What did
Do you want me to break it to her?
Sure.
Not my turn, not my problem. That's what I was saying.
I'm going to go
I would
on
never
about
hurt my
another
friends.
1,000 feet ahead.
Arendelle's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt my friend's feelings. For like, bitch, I'll do it.
Yeah.
What did I do to you?
You'll have to know at some point if she's involved in this. Yeah. All right. All right. I shake my head and go back to the rest.
Is Arendelle okay?
Hey,
Why don't they want to walk with us?
well, they're
moving very fast.
They got stuff on their mind. Yeah, and I kind of don't blame them because okay, so that last question, Rose. The name Herman. Yeah, that Herman wasn't the name. The name. You ready? It was Hermona. That's what the corpse said. We don't know if we need to take the corpse at their word. I know you've got a history with them, right? Yeah.
Yes, and so wait, you're telling me Hermona is horrible answers to her, is what you're saying?
At least
what
that's
the
what the
corpse
corpse
said.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense. None of this makes any sense. I know Hermona. I know her, okay? She would never do any of the shit that all of these people have said that she's done. And then people tell me she's dead, and now people tell me she's alive, and she's... If she's alive, we need to find her. I need to understand why she would do any of this.
Val.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And we're not saying that for sure that she's involved, but that's what that's the name the corpse gave us. That's all we got. So he could have the corpse could have been misled. We don't know, but Hormona might have some answers.
Does Val comprehend any of this happening with what's been going on, the situation? Hormona's name keeps being popped up, but apparently she's dead.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I was like, it doesn't make sense. According to all of the stories, Hermona had been I'm so sorry, Rose. It sounded like Hermona had been killed. It doesn't make sense that she would be behind this. It's not logical.
Something's not right, okay? None of you knew her. I knew her. Okay? None of the stories people tell about her, that's not her. Something had to have happened. I don't know what. I don't have the
Maybe
answers,
something
but
did.
something had to have happened. That is not the woman. It's not her. It can't be the same person. It can't be. Thank you for telling me the truth.
I believe you, Rose.
You can tell Arendelle
I believe you, Rose.
they don't have to run away anymore.
Back ahead.
For real, though, for
Be
telling
ahead.
me the truth. I'm just going to reach over and grab Val's hand and just give it like a squeeze.
Yeah, I squeeze back. I know this is tough for both of us right now.
In case you all didn't know, Val and Rose are besties.
Besties. Rose's Val's comfort extrovert.
Emotional support druid.
Emotional support druid.
While they're
Mhm.
while you guys are talking, Arendelle has kind of gone ahead,
Mhm.
and while they're talking, I'm gonna do an augury ritual.
Yep.
And I'm gonna ask, what's gonna happen if we choose to go to the town, instead of choosing to, what's gonna happen if we choose to go to the town?
Which town's he? The one you're going back to?
Yes, because like, we noticed the change. We noticed suddenly we're here quicker than we should be. I'm asking, what's going to happen if we go to this town with an augury ritual?
Okay. Let me read the
You
spell
pretty
so I
much
can
tell
make
me,
sure that I
is
answer
it good
correctly.
or bad, both or neither?
Wheel,
You don't
woe,
tell me
wheel,
anything
and
else.
woe, or nothing. Okay. You are going to get, by reading the spell, you are going to get kind of this this feeling of a hesitantly good situation. So you are going to get the wheel, but you're also going to get uh the mindscape that you're put into is this kind of good, happy place that you yourself would recognize, which you find to be the church, the library, like where you're happiest. But as you're being there and you're like, okay, cool, we're in a good place, you're going to see that there are a couple of almost the fuck was that? That was weird. Yeah, I just had some weird whirring sounds. I'm like, I ain't getting no calls or anything. That was weird. Um, yeah. So you are going to get this kind of happy feeling where you feel the most comfortable. But as you're kind of walking around, there are going to be a couple of these dark tendrils that are kind of tapping a couple of the walls, and it starts to grow this kind of darker shadow, or you're going to feel like your feet are starting to get a little bit sluggish and slow. You feel as though that you are supposed to obviously head to this town. This is a good place, but you feel like the longer that you're going to stay here, the worse it's going to get. So you're going to get the wheel, and you are also going to get woe. Because woe is you.
So I share with you guys, Woman Jega has shared with me, things are going to be, this is my home. Um, this is where we need to be going. But it seems like there's going to be something bad happen here as well that we're going to be having to deal with. So
At this point, I
let's
just
just
assume
keep that in
that's
mind.
everywhere we
On the
go.
lookout.
Yeah.
I need a drink. Does anyone else
I
want a
don't know. There's
drink?
that one place. There wasn't any place.
I was gonna say I was sitting here. Wolfgang's was like, wait, which place? We've had bad stuff everywhere.
So you guys do know that this was before as well. I should have remembered it in the kind of recap thing. But you were asked to go down in place of Anna in exchange for transport to the eastern continent. So
Right.
that was why you had done it, because you were like, we want to go over there, and Anna's like, okay, well, you do me a favor and I'll do you guys a favor.
We want to get
Figure
the
out
hell
what the
out of
fuck's going on
Dodge.
down there, and then we can get you guys over. But yeah, so it won't take a little bit longer. You're having the chats and interactions now as a group of four. Now that Arendelle has stopped being a kilometer down the road, or a mile down the road. It
What's a
doesn't take long. You guys do get
kilometer?
you guys do get to Teague, and now that you are here, where are you guys all kind of meeting up? Are you going to go grab a drink, grab something to eat? What are you doing?
I need a drink and food. That's the first thing I have to do.
All right.
Yeah, same.
Is everybody going?
Yep.
2,
Mm.
3,
Mm.
4.
I go where Rose goes, so
True. 1.5, 2, 3. Alright. As the four of you enter into I believe I called him Garrick in this one.
yeah.
In Garrick's pub, the tavern, the inn, it's always going to be a pub to the Aussies. As you guys enter into Garrick's pub, you notice that the person behind is not Garrick. There is somebody else kind of behind the reception essentially at the moment, as he just kind of watches the four of you. Just like, oh, more people. Garrick said that there would be 4. He said he likes these ones, so I like these ones. Hello, what
Did
can I
he
do for you?
did he happen to mention the deal we had arranged previously about how we drink for free?
No, that would be bad business. Garrick
Well,
not mention bad business.
well, no. He at least one round he gives us for free because we're such good customers and we have been.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage.
I love this.
Okay, let's see. Can I argue for deception?
Uh,
It's a lie. I mean, it is a lie.
it's- okay.
Rose just
I'll let
really
you
wants a drink.
argue deception. It's still at disadvantage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can I put my hand on his shoulder and give him guidance?
Ooh.
11.
roll. Do you want to use the guidance?
Use the
Yes,
one
I'm
d4.
1d4. Let's do it. Why
15.
not? Can I maybe get 15? 15?
15.
Just one right.
Uh, yeah. Uh, Garrick, had bad business, but I can give you one drink.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you so much. I mean, it's just a deal we made with Garrick because we promise we come here every time we're in town. We always spend lots of coin.
okay. He's just gonna pour you a drink from his little contraptions that he has. The 4 of you are also
thank
going
you,
to get a
guys.
free drink. What do you want?
Woo!
I want like the
Still got to pay for food though.
strongest wine they have, like the highest alcohol content wine that they have available.
Yes. Water. No. Um,
Yeah.
you are given a cup. And as you kind of look at the cup, you are seeing a very deep red.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Coral is not impressed.
Yeah.
So the 3 of you are also going to get a drink. You will need to pay for your food. But
Rude.
easy enough, that's done as well. The 4 of you are going to be eating and drinking, and as it is food at Garrick's Tav, the 4 of you are going to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. Okay.
If we remember, this isn't necessarily a bad
That's
thing.
true.
If you are within 10 feet
I
of me,
don't
you
know.
get +4 on that.
Did we just get 2 natural 20s? Did Arendelle get a nat 22?
I think you
Yeah.
just rolled 2 nat 20s in a row.
I got a 19 plus 3.
Damn!
Wait. What was it we get on the saving throws too, Mr. Paladin?
Plus
+4.
4.
Plus 4?
Plus 4.
32, baby!
Yep.
26.
Yeah.
I
So,
love this.
Wisdom saving throws I can do.
as we have all passed the save, it is just a regular meal.
Good. Thank
No
God.
visions, no memories.
I was
No
kind of hoping
happiness.
passing would give us a little bit of memory vision.
It's just a regular meal.
I don't think I could handle one right now, so I'm kind of glad that this didn't go that way.
Yeah. Real good for you, Rose. So happy for you. The DM wanted you to fail.
Yeah. I literally rolled the highest I could, so the dice were like, no, be nice to Rose.
I suppose. So it's just a regular meal, just a regular drink. After 20 minutes of you guys just sitting around, the front door to the pub opens, and you will find Anna has stand there looking around, and has caught the eye of Arundel and Coral. The two of you kind of facing the door whilst Val and Rose have their back to it. And Anna's going to come over and just... You're all alright, yeah?
Well, certainly been worse. What's up? Oh,
I mean, you're back a lot sooner than I thought you'd be.
Hmm.
What happened?
well, we ran into Torvald.
Anna's just gonna let out a sigh and just under her breath, loud enough that everyone's gonna be able to hear, just says, of course he had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Anna's
Well,
gonna look at you, Val, and it's just gonna give you like a really solemn glance. Were there any judging by the looks on your faces, I'm going to answer that question to myself.
Sirenscape kicked on something I wasn't expecting. Sorry.
Wow, Wolf.
Not the mood.
Wow.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Okay, can I tell one really quick like break story? I went to see Les Mis over the weekend, and it was like this really deep, like it was one of the parts in the play where the music actually cuts out for a second, and Javert is walking from the back of the stage to the front, and it's super silent, and somebody's ringtone goes off, and it's the theme song from the Jeffersons, and it was really funny.
No.
My God.
Anyway, continue.
Embarrassing.
Mortifying.
It is. It's all done though, right? There's no. Everything is, for lack of a better term, over.
well, at least this portion of it. Still got to figure out who sent him and why, and get to the bottom of all of it. Yeah,
Okay,
but Torvald won't be a problem anymore.
we can only hope. He's been a menace for a long time, so well, that's what I've heard. A deal is a deal. I've secured you guys transport to the eastern continent. It will be by train, so there will be some. It will take a while to get over there, but you can either leave tonight or you can leave tomorrow. It's up to you four.
Look at the others. I think the sooner the better, right?
I think so. We could always sleep on the train.
That's
I think it's
Mhm.
best if we get away from here. This place is. There's been nothing good for us here.
Arundel,
Never
you
felt welcome.
remember the vision, the auger that you had, where you asked specifically about the town, and you said that it was good, but the longer you stay here, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah, I think Woman Jigga was telling us we need to move on. We don't need to stay here long.
yes, that would make the best sense.
Okay. I will make sure that you guys are looked after and that you have supplies for the trip. Val, I don't think there's any words that one could give for what you had seen. I'm sorry.
Yes, I suppose not. Thank you for your sympathy.
I'll make preparations. When you're ready, the train doesn't leave for a couple more hours, but the tracks are up north. Not long to get there, but you're welcome to head up at any time.
Thank you.
We'll make sure it's all done. Of course. Charles says he's going to meet you over there. Bit unfair that he can just teleport around, bastard.
Sure.
But not much we can do about it.
I don't care. We're putting this horrible place and this. We're just putting this all behind us. That's what matters.
Yeah, the
Onward.
sooner we can get to the Eastern Continent, the better.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll make sure you're all sorted. And now we get the fun part of the four of you can have some moments to RP anything that you want to do in town. Once we are ready, we can head up and we will be on the train. So anything that you guys want to do in town, anything that you guys want to talk to, steal some books from somewhere for the trip, Lamau. If you want to talk to anybody, because there is the blacksmith, can do a little bit of work. You've got Chronobol, the preacher of the Church of Time Church. And then you also have, of course, Anna in the main office in the top right there.
Did we get the name of this little the bartender here that's
No,
filling in for
you
Garrett?
did not.
Arendelle asked his name.
A name for me.
Yes.
Morpheus.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, I chose it myself. He seems really happy.
Did you choose that just
Um,
now?
Can I tell, is Morpheus a god?
I don't know.
That's kind of a god.
You and anybody that wants can make an insight check.
Absolutely.
Kind of help answer the question. Arendelle and Coral can make with advantage because you guys know who the gods are. You know the gods.
I'm thinking it's not a god, but like some kind of familiar or something.
Val
Like
with
what
a
do I
12. Val is going through it. That is fair.
Yeah.
Rose is 19, 24 and 22. So Val and Rose, Val, you're just not paying attention at the moment.
Nope.
Rose, you know that if Morpheus isn't a god themselves, that they are close to it. Coral and Arendelle, you two do know that Morpheus is a god. And I am directly pulling the inspiration for Morpheus, which is, I believe, have I got my tab still open? I don't. Damn. The god of one of the god of
Matrix.
nightmares.
Oh.
No, I think it's one of the Greek gods of nightmares. And Garrick is the god of dreams. So essentially, Garrick's pub is run by the light and darkness that affects our mental escape. And how you find out that Garrick is not just a god, but also one of the big ones. And Morpheus is right up there because you cannot have the good without the bad. One cannot overpower the other.
Do I know? I know I don't know all that you just said about Morpheus, but do I know about Garrick being the god of dreams? Do I know
No,
that or no?
Garrick
Okay.
introduced himself as the god of food. The
That's
god
what I
of cooking.
thought. Okay.
Yeah.
I was only
He
curious
introduced
because I'm a
himself as the god of
circle
food.
of the dreams, and that might change my
The
opinion
god
on
of
Garrick.
being a silly goose.
The god of doing your best.
Okay. Well, now that Arendelle realizes that this is a god, she's a little disappointed, and she's going to go over there and maybe check out a few more books before we leave town. I was going to try to thaumaturge and scare him to death and get some more free drinks.
Oh no.
Wow.
Since he's a god, he's not going to be fooled by that.
Alright. You are very quick and easy to do first then. Because you have already established in the past that you were like pretty into a lot of the books that were in the Chronobel Church. The Church of Time, Church of Passage, Church of whatever you want to call it. Not even he's quite sure what it is. He just knows that he was saved by two gods. Put the two gods' name together. Bam, there you go. He's not the brightest creature. But it's quite easy for you to get over there. I will get you to do me a intelligence roll flat. And then Val, let's go to you.
I want to go talk to him actually.
To
The
Chronobol
priest.
or yes. Okay. So you can go with Arendelle.
Yeah.
To
Hey
Chronobol.
Val, I'm just gonna stay here if that's okay, unless you need me to come with you.
Yes, I believe Arendelle is going to be with me. I believe I'll be okay.
Okay. Okay.
Could
I'll
I
be here
talk you
if you
into
need me.
letting me? Could I talk you
Oh,
into letting me use religion or history?
make the argument.
Well, for religion especially, I'm going over here really read religious books. And then for history, I mean, I don't know.
I'm reading
I'll give
historical
you.
religious books.
I have a better
I'll let you
argument
do
for
it.
religion.
I'll let you do it. I was gonna let you do it anyway. I just wanted to watch you squirm a little bit.
Yeah.
Make the argument, okay? Make the argument.
Grovel for me.
Well,
You've got
I
religion
mad
is a much
power.
better role. So,
benevolent DM. I know.
oof, it didn't matter.
Ooh.
Found no new
So,
books.
unfortunately, you did happen to come into the church at the time that Chronobal was going through his reset stasis. You know that it's going to take at least a couple of hours for him and the church to come back.
Rick,
Because of that, unfortunately, that does also mean that Val, it does impact you as well.
Ah,
That because Chronobal is currently in his reset stasis, he will be a couple of hours before him and the church is back up in tip-top shape.
cool.
so what does that mean?
I love that.
It means you
Like,
don't get
we-
anything, I'm sorry.
It's closed. They're closed.
Oh,
It's
okay.
closed.
That's yeah. Okay.
That's a way better and easier way to say everything is not there. They're closed. The lights are off.
Well, I was thinking in my head, it kind of sounded like maybe you were saying we went in and then it disappeared and took us with it, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
No,
that sucks.
I can't remember. I don't know if I did explain that part properly with the Chronoball and the reset and how he worked. But it does affect him and the church. It doesn't affect like if there were people inside at the time. It just means that for them the lights would be off for a couple hours and everything would just kind of turn and fall into the sand. The sands of time. You see what I'm doing? You see what I did there?
I see.
Yeah,
I
it's
see.
great.
Yeah.
Must
I
go.
well done.
Mhm. I planned my stuff
What
here.
were these other two buildings though over here on the right?
So
can't remember.
the top right is the kind of Anna's office, and the bottom right is the blacksmith. So if there's anything that you guys want to do that will take a little bit of time, so you won't be able to get any new armor, you won't be able to get any upgrades, but you'll be able to kind of like get some repairs or like to shine some stuff, make something look kind of new, etc. Coral, what are you doing, my friend? What would you like to do? Because you've got a couple of hours to kill. You've got about 3 hours. What would you like to do?
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm gonna stick around at the tavern here until closer to the time. Though if Arendelle comes back, I think I'm gonna pull him aside for a quick chat. Once they're
Okay.
back, if they come back before
Yeah, I pretty much came back.
Yeah, we'll come right back because it's like, well,
Yeah.
Guess we'll just drink a coffee and
I feel like
If
the
it makes you
door
feel
both
any better.
opened and it's still closed at the same time, and we're just really confused.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
you're like,
it's just a bug in the game right now. You like open the door, but there's still the wood there, and you're like, what in the hell? If it makes you feel any better, one of my players rolled a 1, and they spent 10 minutes learning that it was a pull door, not a push door.
Oh,
I
no.
love that.
Like old Fortnite cartoon.
So yeah, so unfortunately,
Yeah.
the Church of Time, Church of Passage ETC is currently closed, because the priest is there and not there.
Closed for restoration.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah, you can have an inspiration point for that.
Hey, I just
Yeah.
got that.
Hey.
That was well done. I like that.
Still got it.
All right, how are you guys doing?
So, Arendelle, come here and buy you a drink.
All right.
So,
Sure.
yeah, what was up with you going all that far ahead of us? I know there was an awkward thing we found out, but what? I mean, I've been traveling with Rose for a while. I think she's good. She's good people. Let's she can take bad news. So I don't know. Is there a trust thing we got to worry about here?
No, it's I've always lived at the church and
Yeah.
pretty much lived in the church basement. And you've lived with the church, but you've also got to kind of like travel the world. Um, it's weird living at the church. You don't
Yeah.
you don't get to
Oh, I know
interact with real people in real situations very often. So it's I don't. That's it was a difficult situation.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to deal with it, and it was quite uncomfortable for me. So um, I don't know. That was just my reaction.
Oh well, if you need it, I got your back. I mean, well, it's yeah, I get it. It's rough for them to hear, but it's she was gonna have to know at some point anyway. If Ramona's involved, Rose and them have like they have a history, so
Mhm.
it would have
I would
she
have
would have had to
just
face it at some point. So the earlier the better. You don't want to keep secrets.
I would have just preferred that dead guy told her, and then he died, and we didn't have to worry about it. You know?
Well, sometimes you just got to break bad news to people. And Lord knows I've certainly had to share plenty of bad news myself. So it's never good, but Rose is strong, and I think you are too. I think you're stronger than you think you are.
Maybe.
Well,
that was good.
I feel like getting compliments
love
probably
right,
makes
we're all
Arendelle
on the same team
uncomfortable.
here.
Yeah.
I feel like
Arendelle for
Arendelle's
sure is
always
like a
like,
people pleaser.
Yeah,
All right.
Coral's
Um,
had nothing but hard truths all his life, so he's used to this stuff.
yeah, and like she grew up in the church, so it's kind of like she was raised at the church, so it's kind of like it's just pure humbleness, selflessness is just kind of just ingrained in her. Just constantly doing stuff, constantly working, constantly doing things for other people, not really, uh,
Well,
and
for me,
not really
yeah,
being able to have real relationships properly, just because she's never had one in the first place.
yeah, I get it. I mean, I wasn't raised at the church, but they took me in after some pretty rough things that happened. So I get that it can be a refuge, but there's a big world out there where some pretty terrible things can happen. So I think the sooner you take your wool off your eyes, the better you'll be. Not to be too harsh about it.
Uh,
But hey, I'm here for you if you need it, and I'll help you through it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
On the same team. Right.
this
All
wine is really good, Val. It's so good. I've had like, I've had 6. What comes after 6? 7.
Everybody on the
This
table
is
looks
good.
down, and she has had 2 drinks.
We established earlier that Rose can hold her up. We had like a
Yeah,
drinking
but you
contest. It
specifically,
comes to,
you
that's true.
specifically asked for the strongest
That
stuff.
is true. That's fair.
That's true.
So
This is
we have a
brandy, and you're drinking it like wine.
yeah.
It's like the
so
ancient
good.
Greek wine where they like it's concentrated and they added water to it, but it's like
And it's
before
filled
they
with
add
lead.
water to it. Yeah.
So
I'm not.
With
I'm not as sad anymore.
with the point of where we were at then, and the conversation had, we are going to move ahead a little bit. We have gone ahead a couple of hours. Unfortunately, the church was not open by the time you had to leave.
Rude.
As you head up, you will head up to the Teague station, which I'm quite proud of. I made this bitch myself.
That's pretty.
Well,
Look
then
at
I
you.
gotta show it. Hold on.
Yeah, look at me. I'm getting better at Dungeon Painter Studio. I learned
is
how to
that-
make shapes yesterday.
Is that what you're doing?
I like
Um,
it. Look
Yeah,
at
that's how I
you.
make all my maps now. Because I was getting
That's-
annoyed of trying to find something specific and it wasn't specific enough, so I'm like, fuck it.
Mm.
But yeah, so as you guys are heading up there, you've got yourself secured passage. You have been told that it's going to take well overnight. You will get there about midday at the next station. You are informed that the station that you are going to is called Lishdown, which is the name of the city that you will be going to.
Do you mind
With
spelling that
the
for me?
Lishdown. Lishdown. As you guys are boarding onto the train, Anna hands the four of you each your own kind of like satchel, your own bag of supplies. It does have a couple of things. You are all going to get 2 regular healing potions. And you're all going to get at least 5 rations each to try and get you guys through. The 4 of you are quite easily able to get onto the train. You'll notice that as you will enter, it is the best way to explain it is very much similar to what we have for overnight sleepers. So you all have your own little rooms. They all have their own little pull-out seats, beds that you guys can stay in. And as it is starting to get to nighttime and what would be the normal time to kind of sleep, Rose is not far behind getting on the train and then immediately crashing, just out of pure the bitch is drunk Lamau.
I've never been on a
Coral-
I
train
was gonna
before.
have us stay up and braid each other's hair and have a conversation, but whatever.
I've never.
Uh,
We can. Hey, that sounds fun. I'll do that. I can braid you. You have such
I
pretty
would
hair. I
I
love
would
it.
love to give that if she wasn't off her tits.
Yeah. Well, on the way home.
I'm glad that nobody looked into what the wine was, because it was called a blood wine, and it was 90% alcohol diluted uh with blood. Essentially, that's why it was such a deep red. If
Yeah.
anybody had looked into it and not the name, you would have noticed that it tasted a little bit metallic, which
It
was a bit
did.
funny.
It was. It did. It was. We could still take
Yeah.
that wine. That wine was good, but also kind of not. But I feel good. I don't. I'm not sad. And again, have I told you how pretty your hair is? Can you braid mine? I think that I could do.
Yes.
Um,
I think just to make sure she's okay, Val would probably like probably braid her hair while she's like, keeping her head like over a trash can, like
yeah.
just in case. Like,
Arendelle, this is a completely new experience for you. Like, this thing is moving faster than we can walk, and that alone is scary, but also this thing moves faster than horses.
I do want to rewind just a smoosh to ask something of Anna before we leave.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, I want to ask Coral. Hey, Coral. Everyone seems to like you a lot better. You should ask Anna if she can throw a little bit of money our way, because we're gonna need some. We're a little poor. We're a little low. And I told everyone
The
to tell
rations, the healing
Anna I
potions
give
aren't enough.
guidance and persuasion. What was it?
The healing potions and the rations aren't enough.
I think we're gonna need a little bit of money.
All right.
You don't have
Who
to.
wants?
I just thought about be a good
Who
idea.
wants to ask Anna?
I'll ask. Fine. I'll ask
I'll
Anna.
Sure,
do it. I'll
yeah.
do it. I'll do it.
No.
All
I
right.
just thought Cora
So
was
one
since
of
he had
you
the
or
highest.
both of you?
Anna!
Rose, you are inside.
I thought we
And
went
also,
back in
Anna
Seriously.
would
time.
not
Oh,
take
you
it
Rose.
seriously. You would not be taken seriously, I'm sorry. So,
Automatic
Rose,
fail.
who wants to do it?
Then I'll just ask Arendelle.
Oh, you Rose.
No.
Arendelle.
What are we
Arendelle,
doing?
I'm going to get you to roll me a persuasion check. Flat. You are
Nice.
lucky. You got a dirty 20,
Nice.
and Anna rolled lower.
Yay.
Anna does kind of take a moment to herself and says, "Oh, what am I doing? Of course you're going to need some money over there. It's a whole different currency." That was stupid of me. She hands you her second bag, which has 50 gold pieces, but in the currency of the Eastern continent. So you'll have 50 gold. I'm not changing the currency in any way. It's still going to be gold. But you will have 50 gold pieces that you'll be able to split between you if you want to, or you can
So
keep
that's-
for yourself. I don't know.
What is that? It's 12.50 to everybody.
It's you guys. Alright. Yeah, she completely agrees. She's like, oh, of course you're gonna need money. Like, it's a whole new continent. Alrighty. Is there
I
anything
was
else
just
you want to
noticing
do
that
before?
we broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had 6 gold.
Does anybody want to do anything else with Anna, or are we happy to move forward a little bit? No?
Yep. Yeah, now we can go to Arendelle sticking her head out the side of the train, going "Wee!"
Yeah.
Now we can go to that part. I think
That looks
Rose
like
is probably also
fun.
doing that.
That looks like fun. I want to. I want to play.
No. I that would not be logical
Hey.
in this
Hey Val.
yeah.
Hey Val.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a drunk bear? And then Rose shapes.
Oh my god. It's
Into a
it's that
bear.
comical moment. She shifts into a bear and Val is pushed up against the side yes, it's very good. Thank
Okay.
you. Very good.
Okay. Rose, I am going to get you to make me a nature check with disadvantage.
Oh no.
Pass or fail, you will turn into a bear, but the roll is for something else.
Oh, no.
11.
One.
Wait.
That's with a nat one. That's
Oh,
perfect.
disadvantage. Right. I was like, it should be higher than that.
Okay. So, with the natural one, I do get to do the funny thing of, yes, you do turn into a bear. Yes, Val gets pushed up against the wall.
Oh Lord, what's he doing?
Val, you are going to take a maximum of 8 bludgeoning damage as you are smacked into the wall by this bear. It's only going to
Great.
take a few seconds of Rose kind of giggling to herself in this kind of very deeper growl. But also, because of how small the space is, you're also going to take 5 piercing damage as the metal of the train pierces into the skin of the bear, because it's
For me?
not big enough to.
I'm
Yeah,
taking the 5?
it's not
Okay.
big enough to hold a bear.
Oh man.
And the bear's drunk.
Like, and the bear is drunk. You cannot move. You've been pierced by one of the metal things. Val, you are stuck up against the wall. Coral and Arendelle, you hear this kind of loud. That's weird. You hear that coming from the girls' room.
And then something like a is that a bear laughing?
I am doing the medieval equivalent of putting in my AirPods and not paying attention to this.
Not my
I
problem.
feel like what are the people on the train like the I don't know, like the train version of a flight attendant. What are they called?
Conductor.
Attendants, conductors.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
conductor.
whatever. The flight attendant.
The train attendant.
Usher.
They,
Train attendant.
I feel like there's a train attendant coming by and be like, "Ma'am, you can't have that bear in here."
I'll allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, I am so
sorry. Arendelle does have her head kind of like hanging out the windows and like is just really enjoying this and sees the fur in front of her like poof out the window and is just like, huh, okay. And she's gonna go check out what's going on.
So as you go
Um,
to walk up to the next room where you've just seen this big puff of fur, I need you to roll me a dexterity check, please. Just a flat dexterity. But I'm gonna need you to roll me a dexterity check, please.
I'm rolling good tonight.
Whoa.
You're rolling amazing tonight. With a dirty 20, you get your hand on the handle, and it won't budge for some reason, but you are able to kind of like trick it into opening out. And as you kind of open it out, you see Val kind of just like gets pulled out from
Pulled
the
out.
thing. Yeah, you aren't going to take any more damage. You didn't fall far enough.
I'm just in there like
But-
trying to move around.
Rose is very much stuck in place, and from what you remember of your room, you know that like one of the metal bars that's holding up like the kind of shoddy looking mattress that you have, you know that that's got to be digging into her.
Meanwhile, Rose finds this hilarious, and the bear is doing the equivalent of just that like uncontrollable slap happy laugh, but coming from a bear.
Arendelle's just like, oh, bless you, and I'm gonna do healing word on Val.
Great.
Can get 10
Excellent.
back.
Brilliant.
Great.
And I'm like, so what's going on here?
I don't suppose you have an inebriation sort of remedy.
I do know some people allow like lesser restoration. They consider like being drunk a poison, so they let. How do you feel about that? Because I do have, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'll allow that. I can see the mentality behind it. I can
No.
connect the dots.
Before you do that, Rose does turn back into her human form, and she's just kind of lying on the ground, and she's holding her side, and she's just laughing her ass off. But she's holding
I feel like
her
you've got an
side.
open wound.
Yeah, but she thinks it's hilarious. But she's holding where she got punctured, and is just rolling on the floor laughing.
She is currently bleeding. Yes.
I'm just like, oh gosh, and lesser restoration on Rose, so she's now suddenly sober, but still has the open wound.
Ow!
She can heal herself.
Yeah, and then like I'll just immediately
Heal
grab
herself.
cure wounds on the. Ow!
Val's just like, fuck this bitch.
Yeah, just like a small bruise on my like cheek or whatever, where it was like smushed up against the window.
Oh my God, Val, are you okay? I'm so sorry. I didn't really think about. Are you okay? I didn't mean to hurt you.
Yes, I do believe we've been through worse in the last 24 hours. I'm okay. Thank you.
It was really funny.
Did you stab me? My side really hurts.
No, I do believe you may have stabbed yourself in your inebriation, yes.
Cole
I'm
just has the
so
Thomas the Tank
sorry.
Engine in his head.
That wine was a little stronger than I thought. I'm sorry. I'm so embarrassed.
Perfectly fine. Let's maybe get some rest and we can touch base in the morning. Thank you so much, Arendelle. You're
Thank you.
a very good friend.
This hurts.
Just pointing out, since you shattered your window, You should stick your head out. It's really cool. But
Let's
good night, y'all.
maybe not.
Okay, so the window wasn't shattered, but there was the just like on your train, so you have the part that like opens up or like comes down and that.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's how you would have seen it.
I was
I'm not
just
destroying
imagining
my
he
train. I
turned into
just
a bear
created
and
it.
shattered the
We're-
window.
We're Americans. We don't know what trains are like, okay? We don't have those most places.
Literally only ever been on a coal train before.
Really?
That's cool.
I've never.
Yo,
I've never gotten to ride a train.
that my
Okay,
papa-
I'm gonna text you because maybe we'll figure something out with the kids.
I know what you're talking about. And I
there
want to
is
do it. I'm in.
Yeah.
There is a murder mystery dinner train that goes between Lexington and Louisville, and then it turns around and comes back, and it's like a
Dinner.
3-hour thing.
I feel
Wolfgang
like-
We have
Stapletop
an
meetup.
awesome Polar Express type of train up here too. So it's there's cool options.
Okay, I stand corrected. There's trains everywhere. We just haven't ridden any.
They're also very expensive here.
They are, yeah.
America be
And there's no
wild.
people on them. They
Anyway,
don't put people on them.
Jesus. Anyway, okay, so that's kind of living my mind rent free now. With the four of you now kind of winding down, Rose is no longer inebriated, has healed her wound, and is getting ready to lay down. Is everyone heading off to sleep now?
Yep.
Yep. All right. So, as
Can
we
I do one
start
thing
to...
before we go to bed?
No, of course you can. What's up?
Okay. Late in the night, when everybody else has gone to sleep, are we
Mhm.
sharing rooms? Like, are Val and I sharing a
Yeah.
room?
No.
No?
Oh, if you
Okay.
want to, you can.
I
Everyone
figured it was
has
like a
their own-
2-and-2 situation where like it was like Coral and Arendelle as boy in Arendelle as boy in one, and then Rose and Val in the one next to it.
That's what I was imagining, but I
If
don't.
you two,
Yeah.
if you two want to do it, you can. I originally
Okay.
had it that each person would have their own space for the night, but if you want to make it a 2 for 2, that's fine.
Well, I think Val and Rose would probably bunk up anyway.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
But for this, Rose.
New roommates.
remember, Rose was asleep for like 1,000 years, but it's like yesterday to her. So she's still in a relationship as far as she's concerned.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But for this, I think she would wait for Val to go to sleep.
Mhm.
And then, like, when it's really quiet and she's sure that like she's alone, she will use her last for this new ability I have. She will use her last wild shape to cast Find Familiar. And she
Okay.
uses it and she summons this fey creature that takes on the shape of a black raven. And she just kind of
Mhm.
holds her hand out and just it forms there on like her hand as she just kind of starts petting it. She goes, "Well, I haven't seen this face in a while. I know you're not actually her raven, but I just kind of need something familiar. So if you don't mind hanging out with me for just a little bit, I think it would be helpful. Um, y- this form, it was her pet, the woman that everyone seems to hate. But I don't know. I just thought having something to remind me of her closer would be keep me from going insane. I don't even know if you can understand me. I don't really know how this works. But
Raven is like staring at you intently.
is that okay?
You created it.
Yes, but it's like a fey creature, so she's trying to be
Pet little.
respectful of its nature and its autonomy. Like it's not like an imp. Like she doesn't want to just like be like, "Hey, you serve me now." She's trying to create this like unspoken kind of agreement with this fey entity that you pretend to be this bird that I remember, and I'll you know, put you in harm's way and summon you back when you poof away. I don't have much to offer the burr, unfortunately.
Alrighty.
But and then with that, then she'll just
And finally drifts off to sleep.
Yeah.
I am going to get everybody to make me a wisdom roll flat, please. Because there is something I'm doing for this campaign that I am not doing for Stifled.
14.
19.
Alrighty, who's got the lowest? Rose, perfect. Val, Coral, Arundel, with 2 20s and a 19. The three of you drift off and you start to dream. The three of you dreaming of the good times, some of the situations where you could have handled things better and you're in control this time. So you win the argument, you win the fight. Val, you remember from your childhood a lot of the moments of you playing and tinkering and running around with the people that you knew, and it does start to darken a little bit as you remember what happened. But as you remember, your mind starts to make sense of it all and remembers that this is a dream, we're in control. And you choose to still remember the travesty that happened and the fire that rages, but you make the people alive. You see them running, you see them working, they're still moving around. So it's almost like this is your way of remembering them still as people, but not forgetting the tragedy that happened. That's kind of your way of handling it. Arundel, you go through your doing the best that you can. You're helping out in the library, you're helping in the church, you're talking to all of these new people, but with the recent situation that's happened, it's almost like your brain is open to these new ideas and these new mentalities, and you're able to talk more openly with some of the patrons that you may not have even spoken to otherwise, because you have all these new experiences and these new words and new meanings. Coral, you're someone that has been dreaming of travel and dreaming of wanting to almost sit down and settle for once instead of just always constantly being on the move. And it's kind of nice because to you, whilst you're still dreaming and you're aware that you're dreaming because you've had these interactions before from the gods that give you these visions, you're kind of almost still traveling, but they've given you control this time. So you've given yourself a large cart that is your home, and you can still travel and do your work and do whatever, but you're always at home. This is where you have settled. Rose. Two things. One, you rolled the lowest. You're
Yeah.
less in control of your dreams, which is ironic because number two, you are a druid of the dreams.
And it's supposed to be good
As
at wisdom
you're-
rolls.
As you're kind of listening, as you're watching, as you're dreaming, as you fall asleep, you always dwell back on the past. Of course, that's where you are the happiest. You don't really know these people like you knew Hermona, like you knew your friends, like you knew your family. And a lot of those people start to come to mind, and you can see them going about their day in the castles of old. You can see them handling the policies and everything that you needed to do. And then you can feel everything just freeze for a moment. And this is where your dream starts to take on a manner that you don't have control over. You can see the people start to disappear, you can see the castles begin to crumble, and it's almost like someone is showing you that the past is the past and you can remember that, but we're in the future now. You're in this spot, this is where you are. As you come to a certain point and you find yourself standing on kind of like a long bridge, it feels like the bridge is suspended over a void. And as you look down, you can see Hermona as she's resting, lying on what looks like an altar similar to the church from before. Your mind rationalizing it as obviously this is Hermona being used by someone else as like a sacrifice of some sort. This can't be the real one. As you, in your mind, start to walk unknowingly and unwittingly towards Hermona as she lays there, and she looks up at you and she gives you this bright smile. She gives you this loving embrace, and you feel that control start to come in, and you feel that happiness from your memories, your dreams, what you want. What do you say to her?
I miss you so much. Are you okay? I don't understand what's happening. I just want this. I want this back. I want us back.
Ramona gives you a smile, her hand reaching up gently resting on your cheek as she just. You're the first visitor I've had in a very long time.
I didn't know where to find you. I've been looking. They're saying awful,
I,
awful things. What's
I
going
don't
on?
know where I am, but I know that you will be my first visitor. When you do, can you do something for me?
Of course,
When you finally
anything.
find me, when you see me, can you tell me who you are? And that's where we're going to end the session.
Ooh.
Oh. Wow, right with the heartbreak. I'm sad again.
Oh.
Who
New,
made me sober for this?
new life. Who dis?
Who did this to me?
What's up?
Yes.
She was evil before, and now I'm making notes. I'm making notes.
Ravdog's like, fuck this bitch.
Well, again, when I knew her, she was not evil. Then I went to sleep for a very long time and woke up, and a bunch of people started spreading vicious lies about her being evil. So,
And then pretending like she doesn't know you sounds evil to me.
You know what? Look, I know you don't understand this, Arendelle, because you've never been in love, right? But I have to trust you.
This is Ravnock. This isn't Arendelle. This is
Oh.
Ravnock.
Just about to say, well, I am Succession now.
Arendelle doesn't know about this yet. Arendelle's gonna have a strange, weird reaction, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Ravnock knows all about this bullshit.
Depending on what we find out will depend on if Rose says anything.
So, hope
All
everybody
right.
enjoyed, and thank you, Wolf.
Great session again. Thank you so much. It feels
Lovely.
so good to be back. I missed Rose. I've missed this campaign. We're back
Absolutely.
on schedule now, right? So we should every other week should be good. We're
Yes.
finally supposed to start Dragonbane back next week too. So hopefully we're back in the groove of
Yay.
things. I'm
Fingers
done
crossed.
for the. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just fingers crossed that we come back and I don't have
Sure.
any other fucking random family flying in. Like, no, stay there.
Fair. I'm done though for the week. This has been a 4
Yay.
straight days for me, which is I think the first time I've done that. It's been a long week. Thank you all again for watching. If you tuned in live or, most people watch this on YouTube, thank you so much. Quick reminders, if you want to join the Discord and come and hang out and chat with us, and you can see our funny memes that we post in the chat while we're playing. Or if you do want to support the show, we have a Patreon. You can do that. You can join for free too, and just get some of the free content. And Coral, thank you. You signed up using the code. There's a code right now,
Yay.
50% off your first month. You should check that out. I'll put that in the comments just in case. It pays for Sirenscape. So, other than that, yeah. What was the thing, Val? What are they supposed to leave in the comments?
They're supposed to leave their favorite part of the D&D movie.
Favorite part of the D&D movie, right?
Mine
Perfect.
was when Hugh Grant tries to jump out the window and he just hits a wall.
Oh, that's
Mine
ahead.
was when they're doing the illusion of him speaking and it glitches out.
Oh yeah.
I do
like
like the dead part, but I also like at the very beginning where they do this grand escape and they're like, "We were gonna let you go."
Yeah, that was really funny too. That's a great movie.
It's a great
Mine
movie.
has to be when they visited what's her name? The barbarian lady. When they
Her husband?
visited her ex.
Her ex, that's right.
Love that scene.
Psychic, you want to give us yours?
great.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my god,
you
have
Okay.
to.
See it.
We're gonna
Criminally
correct.
underrated.
We're gonna correct that. It definitely was critically underrated. We're gonna correct that.
Yep. It is.
Okay.
I watched it, and I like as a D&D player, I was like, this is exactly a D&D campaign. Like
Yes.
Even my
to a
non
T.
D&D playing friends love this movie.
It's just
Yeah.
it's
This
a really
is-
good adventure movie.
Not sponsored,
Yes.
everybody.
No, no. So
Unless they
here-
want to.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want us, anybody who
that'd be
wants to
cool.
sponsor us, just reach out. You know.
Yeah.
Whoever the hell made that movie.
Well, I know Wizards was involved. Anyway, so yeah, so that'll be it. We got maybe 10 minutes. If a couple of you want to stick around, we can do one of our post shows if you want to. Just chat for a minute or two. And then we will see you all next week for Kupo Quest on Monday. We're back with a pretty pivotal battle, I think, about to happen. So you don't want to miss
Oh
that.
boy.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
it's gonna be
It's gonna be a big
good. You listen. You don't want to miss Monday's Kupo Quest. That's all I'm saying. Okay. You don't want to miss it. I promise. Anyway, we'll see you then. Bye.